Today is February 29th, and the Yankees are still out there looking for a veteran to be on the bench. What? Say what? We're going to talk all about it here on Talkin' Yanks.
Say what?
Say what?
Talkin' Yanks.
It's good. There's some soundboard shit today.
John Boy Jake. Recaps galore. Weekly awards. Stat lines, semen, hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. We're coming to you live from the owner's suite here at the warehouse where myself, Jimmy, and Jake and producer Bug Dude are all hanging out and talking about the Yankees because it's Talkin' Yanks brought to you by SeatGeek. And guess what, Jake?
And guess what?
First night game of spring tonight?
Yeah.
So
on the Yes app.
probably Homer Alert City, I'd say. I'd be careful if you're in the right field seats because it's cement wall behind you. So if the homer goes over your head, there's a good chance it's coming back same speed. I've seen some dangerous stuff happen out there.
See the lineup?
No. Did you see the lineup, Jake?
No.
DJ LeMahieu is leading off playing third base. Gleyber Torres bats second, plays second. Anthony Rizzo first base. Giancarlo Stanton in right field.
Wow. Skinny G.
Batting fourth. Verdugo bats fifth and left. Volpe at short. Trent Grisham in center batting seventh. Oscar Gonzalez is your 8-hole DH. And it is a Ben Rortvedt night behind the dish. Clayton Beater on the mound.
How about that? DH and Oscar and putting G out there. Skinny G.
Yeah.
Made a dive and catch at practice one day.
Yeah. That's a spring training lineup. That's going to be like
Big
that's going to be a June lineup. Not in that order, but that will be a June lineup. That doesn't excite me. I thought I was going to be excited, but it's interesting and it's of note. And there's something else of note, Jake.
Yes.
Kiké Hernandez signed with the Dodgers.
Yes.
Did an interview on Foul Territory.
Eric Kratz.
Todd Frazier.
Do we do a Talkin' Yanks with Kratz? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
We've talked Yanks with-
Well, he did a
he's
John
been-
Boy Jake TV. He did a bald draft.
We did a
I
ball
think-
draft.
I thought
did we
he
do
did
a
a Talkin' Yanks
Yanks?
at some point.
If we didn't, that almost feels like a little slight miss. I know we got a lot.
I
of
know.
good
I know. We
channels.
were really happy about the JJTV day with him, but
Good draft.
I think
It's
we
a
only
really
did
good
that.
draft.
Okay.
I think we invited him to do a watching with us, and then
Say
it was
shout
too-
out. I like when you say
Shout out. Kratzy. I bought his book.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it? 2 hats, 1 Kratz?
It's 2 Krats in a hat.
That's right.
Picture.
Go buy it at a store.
I'll shout out his real book because I feel bad. if
Yeah,
someone-
that's, if you're going to.
Talkin' Yanks.
someone.
And buy something Brian Hoke or Jack Curry has written.
It's called
always nice.
The Towel of the Backup Catcher.
New
Playing baseball
segment.
for the love of the game.
We just promote everyone else.
Yeah.
Episode 514 of Talkin' Yanks, titled "The Career of Eric Kratz,"
Okay.
and he
was
is
on it?
He was
Okay.
on it.
Hell yeah. Anyway, Kiké
Yeah.
Hernandez was on Foul Territory talking about getting signed by the Dodgers. And he said it came down to the Yankees and the Dodgers. So that was yesterday. The Yankees were in talks. If he chose them, they would have had another veteran infielder on the bench, something you've been asking for. You guys both went.
guys
Beebs
both
was
went
showing
orange.
us a picture, and you guys both went orange shirt.
That's a tough freeze for me, Beebs.
It's on the screen.
What is that?
He didn't choose it.
That's true.
So what that means is that I really don't think they want both Oswalds on the team to break camp. And with Boone's quotes about Peraza and just having him get everyday at bats and playing shortstop every day, it seems like maybe him. And they are in search of that veteran presence that you have been asking for on the bench.
Let's unpack this a little bit.
Okay.
A, just because I want to put this in my rear view,
Yeah.
a little sad. Dude, Kiké?
Yeah.
Kike's like one of the most fun energy guys in baseball.
Yeah.
And we'd be doing a whole thing like guys played in the postseason, guys had these big moments. And just like the energy the Yankees would have if it was Kiké, Soto, when Dominguez comes back, like the vibe checks, all-time high. Putting that in our rear view because it's out.
All right.
Kiké got 1 year, $4 million.
Yeah.
That's what we believe.
Yeah.
Which the Yankees are in the final tax bracket, right? So that's they would have been willing to pay essentially $8 million. I
Yeah.
know that doesn't matter to us really, but
Yeah.
something to keep in the back of our heads.
Yep.
And yeah, I guess the thing that's interesting to me, and we're going to talk about some of the potential options and A-Rod's new pod, pre-ad, is that Kiké can play everywhere.
Yeah. Versatile.
So the other thing that I've been digging through a little, or I guess hasn't fully clicked in my head,
Yeah.
is with our bench, we have a lot of olds on the team / people we want to keep healthy. Judge, main priority is keep that guy healthy.
Keep that guy healthy.
I think for the first time we might have some serious, like Yankees could win blowout games. Like how cool was that first Yankees game on Yes where the top of the lineup scored every time? Because you have Judge and Soto. Yeah. And how many times have we talked about taking Judge out, and then is that almost rude to Soto? Like it's a 10-1 game, and Soto's still got to lump around out there. So Kiké can play everywhere. Like that's kind of Kiké's whole thing. So it'd be nice, and if it was, say it was Kiké, it would be Kiké, Oswaldo, Trent Grisham. Basically, you can take out Judge and Soto. Oswaldo's got some outfield history too. So was Kiké in that example. Yeah. So you could take out Judge, Soto, and then basically whatever old on the infield's banged up, whether that's Rizzo or DJ. So that's where I'm interested when we get into the pool of players. I think Yankees still have versatility prioritized. I know we've focused towards infield, and Kiké was the Red Sox starting shortstop last year.
Yeah.
That's a layer of a problem.
I mean, you're not going to go get a guy that can just, I think there's versatility for sure. I don't think you're going to want to go get a guy that can just play one position. Right. But I also don't think you want a guy that's main priority is the outfield. And then I think even more so, you want a guy that has a platoon split. Actually, Kiké said that's why he went to the Dodgers, because they guaranteed him that he would face lefties. And he said the Yankees lefties aren't platoon guys. Right. They're going to play. Yeah. The Yankees righties are platoon guys. Not platoon guys. Volpe can sit on a tough lefty day. A tough righty day.
Tough righty day.
Yeah,
Volpe?
I don't know, like Manoah. They sat every in 2022. Boone and I disagreed, but they sat every righty when Manoah would pitch because he was like so good against righties. Yeah. So if you have a dude that can spell like Volpe or
who's the only guy that's like Verdugo against a lefty currently takes a seat.
Yep.
And then I guess against a righty, what you're saying, I guess would. A platoon lefty, but platoon lefties normally play a lot because righties are out there.
There's no one there. That would just be like Cabrera who gets to start. They're not going to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a world where, like, just to get him a day, like Rizzo would sit against a tough lefty, but that's more about getting him a day.
And they're still going to do that. Like, you know, at our Talkin' Yanks event, we had the one guy come in way too hot about it. I kind of asked the same question because we were dancing around Soto, like, play him every day. Last year of his contract, he plays every day. Play him every day. But for Rizzo, DJ, even Glibber, like they're gonna get them off their feet in the first 2 weeks of the season. So it's just, I guess the other thing here is this is like a true, almost old school bench piece.
Okay, so I have an old school bench piece.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're not gonna get a lot of run until there's an injury. And if it's a shortstop, I think it's just call up Peraza.
If an injury happens, it's short,
We've done, if Rizzo gets banged up again, DJ moves to first. I think that becomes interesting because do you just let Peraza run out there? Or it depends probably on the veteran you could potentially bring in. What are you looking at? What'd you just...
I have a...
You giggled.
It's a bad... I don't even want to say it. People are going to get mad.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can ask me a question.
Do you think...
Joking.
It's brutal. Get a new noise. Get a new sound.
Devastated.
Because I think you're leaning heavy they have to have infield ability. Is there a world where it's not? Like if they can get just an outfielder at the right price, in theory, Oswaldo can play the whole infield. And first base, you have DJ and Rizzo, and they even messed around with Oswaldo a little bit last year. Like, do you think if they got an outfielder at the right price, that could be the bench option?
I think they're just looking for a skill set.
Okay.
And I think having Peraza not be there is more important to them
Right.
than who is there. It's just a guy that's going to sit around for the most part. So if it's a guy they think, oh, we like him as a pinch hitter, okay? Yeah, sure. Or we like him as a pinch runner late in games, okay? There. So I don't know what the skill set is, but I think it's if they can latch on to anything,
Right.
the main priority is they don't want Peraza and Cabrera to be just stuck on the bench when they should be going and getting reps at AAA. One of them.
Yeah, I guess. And, hey, this... If you timed that a little better, that would have been nuclear.
I didn't know it was
That
going
would have
off.
been nuclear. Kind of a nuclear reaction sound. Shout out. Nuclear. Yeah, again, trying to find this veteran person a role, it would be if this is kind of deep, and I'm excited. If Trevino isn't hitting this year, which it's not his signature. He's a defensive catcher. He had a big first half with the Yankees. Everything outside of that hasn't been great. Lefty late in the game. Like Kiké could potentially have been a pinch hitter for Trevi because you wouldn't hit Wells against the lefty. But this bench person doesn't have a role until there's injury.
That's what I'm saying. They just want someone to push the other kids to AAA and then have a right price and maybe a clubhouse fit. Like maybe that was Kiké's best skill for the team. Can I list some names for you?
And yeah, on the other side of it, I would say, I guess we're doing this like, oh my, so Kiké would have never played. We're an injury and a half away from that person playing 80 games
every day.
Before you do that, you want to tell the people about, and
Yes.
you had a new voice you were working on.
So
too.
this next section where we're going to tell you potential veteran bench piece add-ons is brought to you by The Deal with Alex Rodriguez. It's a new podcast and video series you're not going to want to miss. The Deal, co-hosted by Yankees legend Alex Rodriguez. Every week, A-Rod and Bloomberg reporter Jason Kelly speak with big-time athletes, entertainers, and executives like Maria Sharapova,
Okay.
Michael Strahan, Derek Jeter,
Yeah.
and more. The Deal takes you behind the scenes into the world of sports, media, and entertainment,
Did you say sports, media, and entertainment?
and dives into the wins, losses, and lessons learned along the way. From Bloomberg Podcasts and Bloomberg Originals, you can listen to The Deal on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, so I'll list some names for you.
Okay.
Matt Chapman, too expensive.
Would really think
Too
no on
expensive for
that.
this.
Too
If we're going to
expensive.
spend that kind of coin, send me a Snellagram. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Okay, now here's one that, like, I don't know why. Okay, here's one. Donovan Solano. All right, he's old, veteran presence. He's 5'8", 210 pounds from Barranquilla, Colombia. Last year, he had an OPS plus of 110. He had 282 batting average, 369 on base, 391 slugging, 760 OPS. All those are pretty good. He had a good year last
bad.
year in 450 plate appearances, 134 games, like legit.
Useful.
Had a good season. So this is a guy where if there is an injury and he becomes a regular, you're like, all right, well, this dude did it last year. He's done it before.
He's a guy that if you have to play him for a month, you kind of know what you're going to get. Like,
Yes.
I don't have his career page up in front of me, but isn't his career, especially the past few years, pretty steady Eddie?
Yes, since 2019, since he became a 30-year-old, In 450 games, he has a OPS plus of 110 and 296 batting average, 355 on base.
He's a bit of a throwback, like not a lot of power at all, but he's a good contact bat.
Yes. I'm trying to see if he's got any fun platoon
Like
splits.
we've talked about him.
Last year you had like no split.
No splits.
Splitless.
Hits
Can't
from
even
both
do a
sides.
split.
So, if you're throwing out 1 year 4 to Kiké, then maybe 37-year-old or 36-year-old Donovan Solano, or he wants to get a place where he's going to play. What's he chasing? But I don't know on that side. Just Yankee side of things. He fits the bill. He can play a lot of positions.
Over 10 games last year at first base, second base, third base, and DH, which is a skill.
You got the corners and second. You don't have a shortstop, but you have Cabrera to fill in there. And Volpe played a lot last year.
Volpe's going to play pretty much every day, and if he's hurt, then it's the Peraza.
Yeah.
So you don't really need a bench shortstop.
Yeah.
It would be Cabrera in a pinch, which, by the way, we did that in a playoff game.
Yeah. So I think he's likely the candidate for the Yankees to go. If they're
not bad.
If they're looking at Kiké, I think, okay, Donovan Solano, let's bring him in. Does he get along with the guys? Next up, Jake, your old pal, Elvis Andrus. Now, Elvis Andrus on the season last year, I don't think the numbers are great, but the second half, dude went nuts.
I kind of went on a date with a girl in Dallas that he dated.
I know that. I know that to be true.
Elvis Andrus is a weird one. Another old.
In the last 49 games of the season last year after the All-Star break, 305 batting average, 473 slugging.
I guess for me,
14 doubles and 4 home runs.
For me, the risk reward with Elvis Andrus, who I think is a beard guy, so I'm a little nervous about that.
For sure.
Also, I know you read his second half numbers, but his first half was like disgusting, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the worst players in the league.
Yeah. Well, after him, there's more likely guys that are worse.
After him, there's more likely.
Like it's Donovan Solano if you're looking for a dude who has good career numbers, and if he becomes a regular starter, you kind of know. And then that's it. Then you have Elvis, who has upside but not upside, has the beard like you're talking about.
Yeah.
Lived with his mom for a while.
Do we think it has to be righty?
No, I don't think it matters.
It has to be. It doesn't really have to be anything.
No, I think they just want to get Peraza down in AAA. So, I think here's the grossest one I'm going to name for you. The grossest one, and I don't even think it's a signing. It's like, hey, you want to do this? Alberto Mondesi.
Okay.
Can't hit a lick. But if you want pinch runner,
he can run,
and you want defense at shortstop, second base, third base, wherever, you can get him. Do you even that's when Cashman was on the show and he was like, some guys I feel weird
flex
asking them to be like a non-roster invitee instead of giving them a contract. Right. He's a guy I think you reach out as a non-roster invitee first.
Yeah, and that's where
this dude.
I guess this is the catch-22, if you will.
OPS plus of 0 last year in the 15 games he played.
That was 22.
Oh, that was 22.
He missed all of 23.
Was he hurt or is he not playing?
I believe he was with the Red Sox and tore his ACL in spring.
I think he was just busy.
So he was just hurt.
So he's out.
He was just busy.
All right, some other fun names.
I believe it was an ACL.
That Cole Calhoun was in the system last year, and you're only getting corner outfield and first base. So I don't think you're there, but he's a lefty bat if that's what they're interested in.
And they half liked him.
Tommy La Stella.
Yeah.
Contact kid.
I think Tommy La Stella, backyard Brad Miller, someone like that is in play because that's just a versatile tool.
Josh Harrison, everyone's favorite.
Sure.
That's kind of it.
Yeah, I guess that's the... If I was running the team, hey, Brian... Remember when Booney backhanded us a couple times? When you managed the Yankees? Hey, guess what, guy?
That was Booney's impression of being like a cat in the corner.
I would still want a... I guess this is where it gets tricky.
Are you going to say you want a good player?
I want speed off the bench.
Yeah.
Because we do have a lot of slows.
Yeah.
That's where I was excited for Peraza this year, was some defensive replacement, because he's a little flashy out there. And he can actually run.
Yeah. But
Kiké, not a stolen base guy.
No.
And I guess is the thought process, so this bench person who could play, but currently would have zero role, basically.
Yeah.
Just be
Healthiest
friendly.
version of the team is no role.
When the injury bug strikes, is Peraza still the guy that gets called up? Because then I have my stolen base guy on the bench again.
Yeah. Well, who's injured?
That's a question.
Glaber?
Right.
Yes, Peraza's you're playing second base.
Starting second baseman.
I think so.
I would guess that's the plan.
Yeah, you have to.
DJ's
right?
injured? Yeah. Peraza's your starting third baseman.
So if the
think
second baseman, shortstop, or third baseman get injured, what about the first base? Does that mean if any infielder
If Rizzo
gets injured,
Peraza
gets
DJ
run?
goes to first and Peraza's
Why'd I
called
do
up.
that? Was that slick?
In the olden times.
If you're listening to podcasts only, timestamp it. Check out that move. Because in
It was,
50s, that is slick.
Sometimes
Around,
you
like, the
do
2030 mark.
You do like Mona Lisa Vito shit.
That was slick. In the 50s, they'd be like, that guy's
He's a slick guy.
Bullet to the head. Wrong crowd.
Check
You
out
do
the
that to
weekly
wrong
dump.
crowd.
Check out the weekly dump.
I'd say the exception to any Peraza thing is if whoever this vet is and the little opportunities they got.
I think
before
Donovan
an injury,
Solano
mashed
is
in
the only one.
5 games they got.
So, yeah, I guess that's... Okay,
If they
going back
really
to the,
showed something, maybe then it's all right, we'll give you a week.
That was slick, too.
That's
Make
kinda
sure you're
slick.
watching on YouTube. If,
Striking poses.
so let's say, again, flashback. I said I wasn't gonna. Kiké.
Yeah.
If Kiké got signed by the Yankees, would the story have been the same that we just told? If any infielder got hurt, Peraza's the starter? Is he in like a platoony?
I
with
think
Kiké?
no, because they're both righties, right?
Right.
I don't think they're going to call Peraza up to be Peraza. Come on, what am I? You?
That's nice.
To be a bench piece.
That's good.
So I think they'd rather find someone that is. But Kiké wouldn't. Have
And
been.
it's early season Yankees that it's find out what Peraza is at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
It's April, you know.
Well, how do you feel? I'm going to pivot off this subject. I feel like we've covered it in every
Okay.
single which way we could.
Let me say some names at you.
Okay.
Jonathan Scope.
Nah.
Brad Miller, you were okay with that? Maybe?
No.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Sure.
Joey Votto.
Scope's numbers are ugly.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Scope's number's been ugly.
No, who was good last year, but again, it turns into the outfield thing. Adam Duvall?
I don't
Just
know.
out there.
He was like good when he played last year.
Yeah.
Didn't play an insignificant amount. It's 92 games.
Kind of want a bench guy, you know?
Right. So Adam Duvall's like too good? Is
Yeah.
that what we just said?
I
Okay.
don't think he wants the role.
Right. Robbie Grossman.
And I think
World
like
Series champion. Batted third. Switch hitter. Corner outfield only, really.
no.
Okay.
I mean, Robbie Grossman, sure, but yeah, I don't like it because I like outfield only. Really,
So you'd like a little bit of infield juice here.
I need them to have a thing, like
Yeah.
like an infield replacement or a stolen base threat or a home run threat, and that's like what's Brad Miller's thing. He's just a nice guy.
He has a little
Robbie-
bit of pop.
Robbie Grossman
He's a
killed
non-base
lefties
guy.
last year.
He
Kills
killed
lefties.
lefties.
Killed them.
But if we're looking for that, I mean, Stanton, DJ, Glaber stink.
Trent Grisham doesn't get
Grisham,
a
what do you
job,
get to do?
basically.
Outfield
Grisham's going to
only.
face righties.
It's got
Yeah, it's-
splits.
We asked Boone straight up. He doesn't care, and they've never cared about that.
It feels like the easiest pinch hit lane for any guy if it is a guy who hits lefties. I guess Verdugo, sure. You think that's a lane for Grisham? I guess like if you don't trust Wells against good lefties yet, it's like all right.
Evan
Get him
Longoria.
Oh, that'd be fun, but no, he's.
But that's
he's-
just our media side kicking in because he's a nice guy.
He's in his van.
Vans,
Vans.
West Coast guy.
Okay, can we pivot? covered it?
I think so. I guess. Are we going to have, okay, final question on it.
Because it very well could be like Kevin Smith. And they never play.
Smith and Van Meter are with the team right now.
And they talked about they talked about using those guys. And then Peraza's in AAA, and as soon as an injury comes up, Peraza's playing, and Kevin Smith's still a bench piece. Like that's still, I think, likely. Just because they're in on Kiké doesn't mean they're in on anyone.
So can I ask one thing?
Yeah.
And it's brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. Get in on the action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. And they got a fun one going on right now. Their no sweat bet up to $1,000 back in a bonus bet. So if you get it wrong, you get a bonus back in the same amount. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Yanks. New customers can get a no sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Yanks. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in West Virginia. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus. Ages vary by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. One no sweat bet per new customer issued as one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/promos for deposit wagering and eligibility restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Are we going to have, and this is obviously on a much smaller scale, left field in previous years?
Yeah.
We know they pursued Benintendi. They never brought in a left fielder. Do you think there could be, again, on a smaller scale, let's say it's April, we're a couple weeks in, there's an injury or two. If the Yankees do what you just said and they, Kevin Smith or whatever veteran, Greg Allen, whatever veteran has a good spring training and they let stay with the team, are we going to have like a little kind of jealousy punching air thing that like we were close to getting Kiké and we never got someone similar to that?
No. Unlike you, I've put it in my rear view. Like instantly.
It's full in your rear view.
I don't care about it.
It's kind of been in my fore view. I've been talking about this.
You're like, you're stuck on it. Sounds like you're going to be jealous.
I think I am a little.
You're going to look at like Van Meter and be like, you could have been Kiké.
I would say that.
Yeah. I don't care.
That would be like one of my first Root awards for the year. And you go,
Yeah. I don't pine for what I never had.
Jeez. That's crazy. That's a crazy quote, man.
Put it on plaque.
That feels like, who's that guy with the big mustache? All right.
Titus Welliver?
No, but you do reference him a lot.
Twice.
He's in movies. He's in the one with Bradley Cooper.
Oh, Sam Elliott.
Yeah. That seems like something he'd say.
He would have a very much deeper voice about it.
What'd you say? I don't pine for things I never had.
I don't pine for what I never had. See if anyone's ever said that before.
Is that a Noah Khan song?
Cool. Google in quotes. I don't know.
I don't pine for things I never had, and I went to Vermont, I saw my dad.
Keep going.
Wondered if I was acting bad, but inside I was really sad.
Stayed on that same rhyme scheme.
No way it was our last night.
I said goodbye to my dad.
Doesn't seem to be a quote that's been cited before. So
that's me. If anyone ever utters that in the rest of their whole world, I get that.
Get it tattooed on your ribcage.
Okay. Tiny.
Contract. What else did you have?
So Boras is desperate right now.
Say it like you're on. Say that again, like if you were a WFAN host.
Boras, desperate right now. You seen this?
A little bit, huh?
Yeah, I mean, John Heyman's most recent article is it is John Heyman. Yeah, according to John Heyman. I'm reading an article where they cited John Heyman. Oh my goodness, it's John Heyman doing a talking.
Tell me John Heyman cited himself.
It's a talkie. It's a talkie from Heyman. I'll play it.
Today, or a couple days ago with Blake Snell, as I reported in the New York Post, Snell is willing to do one of those Bellinger-type deals, short-term deal with opt-outs. They did talk to the Yankees about this, so I'm sure they're willing to do it with other teams as well. And, I think it does make sense for them, a high AV with opt-outs. The issue for the Yankees with a short-term deal is the high AAV means a higher tax. That's really the big issue, but certainly if you give them opt-outs after year one, and opt-out after year one, and you've given up draft choices to sign him, that isn't a question as well.
So I agree with everything John's saying about the reasoning, but it is funny because John does Boras' bidding, which is like a public fact at this point in a way, and accepted by almost all parties everywhere. And I don't even know if fought by Heyman.
Does he get money from Boras?
No, it gets scoops, and then he gets the first to be recorded,
credit.
and then he gets
money
the credit.
from scoops. Okay.
So, I mean, it's a
Gets his
big kind
first
of just
paycheck.
F you to the Angels and Giants, because every one of these new updates is like, and the Angels and Giants are still there. It's like, yeah, they're there, and they're trying to get the Yankees to be back in, because the Yankees came out in the media and said they don't want to do a short-term deal. Short-term deal. So these parties may not be negotiating together, but they're negotiating through the media a ton right now. It feels like.
Yeah, it feels like Snell.
Want me to tell you something?
Oh yeah,
So last week we sat here. I was 100%. They were getting Snell.
That's true.
Then Curry
Yeah.
talked, and I went to 0 because I live 100 and 0.
Right.
And I think everyone else should. It's sports fandom.
Right.
Why be reasonable ever? Right. Okay.
What were you thinking about saying?
I was thinking
This
about,
is you not saying this.
No, I don't know. I just stopped myself from going over the top for the purpose of being fanatical in a rude way towards everyone listening.
Good.
So I stopped myself. I'm saying that every beat reporter now, all the articles have been about how it's not going to happen.
Right.
Basically telling the fan base, stop thinking about it.
You're not gonna.
And
Are you pulling a reverse card?
yeah, the last one came out. Was it The Athletic? And I was like, guys, you're too strong.
You're not wrong.
Okay, it was a recent Cuddy article with the Yankees. With the Yankees Blake Snell deal unlikely, why Clark Schmidt must step up. As of Wednesday, there still seemed to be little chance the Yankees and Blake Snell.
And wasn't there an article the week before that was like Clark Schmidt okay if the Yankees signed Snell?
But Cuddy, not just on him. I like Brent Cuddy a lot, but everyone in this week has like, maybe that's the news. So that's the news. You got to write about Snell. So you have to write. The recent trend is there's no way. There's too many people saying no way. Now my hopes aren't up. I'm not 100% he's going to land. I'm 50.
So you just took back the whole speech you gave.
Ha!
You just took back.
Ish, yeah. I reserve the right to change my mind at all times. That's something I say a lot.
You have said that a lot. Get that tattooed on your ribs. Here's what I'm going to say.
Tiny.
And I was going to say before you went on a rant that you took everything back, essentially, with one sentence.
No. Right now, I'm on the fence. I will eventually fall. I just don't know what side. One more article comes out saying it's not going to happen. I'm 100% it's happening.
This is what I think Snell's free agency dream board looked like. Like, you know when you have those meetings and people are like, hey, rules don't exist. Like, if this was, what would you want? I think his number one was Seattle. Like, he's one of the prouder Pacific Northwest guys you'll find. He's from the region. He, like, coaches Little League in the region. Nice guy.
Really nice guy.
I don't think Seattle's in. I think his number 2 thing on the list was like, and this is kind of who Blake Snell is a little bit. I think it's like, cool team. Like, I don't think he's necessarily like hyped to be a Yankee necessarily, but he's also like, hey, the Yankees are cool. New York's kind of sick. Like, I could be about that. I think
could be about that.
I think if the Dodgers were in play, I think Snell would be about that. I think San Diego, because they're still kind of cool in Southern California, if they still had money, I think that would be in play. Like, and that's where whenever the baseball boys at John Boy Media, trademark, are talking Snell, usually the other teams that pop up are like, maybe the Phillies. Like, they've been fun. They're kind of cool. They could win a World Series. He could be like a Philly legend. The Cubs, like, supposedly they have money and can go for it.
We all think they should do one more move. Most teams should do one more move.
There's
I
not
guess.
a ton of other teams in play, and that's the whole Snell predicament that kind of has you in the Uno reverse world. Because I think the other line that everyone's saying is basically if the contract, with Snell's current contract demands or requests, it's not a fit for the Yankees. But the question is, what is?
It just seems to me like they're telling the Yankees, offer us something cool and creative, please. Otherwise, we got to take this standard shit from the Angels or the Giants. You think this guy, Daniel Sams, Australian cricketer, kind of looks like Snell? Just realize that. I think they kind of look alike.
A little bit similar.
Yeah.
I think if they didn't have the goatees going on, we wouldn't do it. But when you have
No, I think
similar
it's the
facial
ears.
hair-
I think the ears kind of are landing me there.
the ears are around.
Their heads
it.
are like tilted a little bit the same there.
I like Daniel Sams.
I have a question for you, if you don't mind.
You want me to offer? You want me to put together a deal?
If Boras, desperate Boras, if he texts Cashman right now,
Yep.
he says match Rodon deal and it's done. Cashman's just like, no.
6 years, 162. There'd be opt-outs and shit in there.
Let's say there's a little bit of
Let's
mahogany in
whatever
there.
whatever you feel like is reasonable.
Third year
opt-outs.
opt-out, second opt-out. I don't know.
What was it? Talking Yanks when I made my deal? Or was that talking baseball? When I put
You've made deals for
I put
Snell.
together one for
I think
Snell?
that was talking baseball yesterday.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if you could do. Well, I don't know where they're at with Soto.
Okay.
If they go 6 years, 162 for Snell, and that means that they're just nowhere near, like they can't really offer Soto,
Right.
then I would be not out.
If-
So I'd have
if
to
they're
figure
gonna
out how
use
much
it
is
as the
coming off
reason.
the books this year.
I think you're fine. I mean, between Glaber, Rizzo, and what Soto currently gets paid and what Ohtani's contract was, like,
Okay.
I don't think whatever could happen with Blake Snell would take the Yankees out of Soto.
Yeah, you just need to do it in whatever
Does
way.
Stroh have an opt-out after this year?
Not after this.
No.
He has the. He
He's
can
just
get
a
vesting
2-year deal?
option for a
vesting
third.
option
Two
for
with the
innings.
third,
Yeah,
okay.
so I think you got to do that deal. You could do that deal, but Cash would say sure. He can't just say yes because they're bringing it to him.
Right.
So he's got the power,
Yeah.
and he would say, "I need it to be backloaded in this way, or whatever tricky shit they can do to."
I think
Change
front
it.
load is what the Yankees would want because
No,
it's
that-
easier to move on the.
But this
They don't want
tax-
the front load. That's what.
well,
Hayden's
the
saying.
well the AAVE is what gets taxed. Is what they're taxed on. This is CBT payroll, so it's just the average money.
So you get fucked this year.
Like what he's literally getting paid this year isn't what matters. It's what the
What it comes
AAV
out
for
to
every
annually.
player.
But there's
is.
ways that they still skirt it. The Dodgers figured it out.
The Dodgers.
Just I haven't learned
The Yankees
yet.
might want to backload it for other reasons, but I believe the front
Hit up
load is
Cash
what's-
and be like, hey, just buddies chopping it up here.
front or
if-
back better for you.
If desperate Boris hit you up and said, do the Rodon deal plus $1,
Yeah.
yay or nay,
I'm gonna go to
what gift do you think he'd reply with?
I'm gonna go to synonyms.com.
I think he'd reply with like someone leaning back in a chair, like, oh,
There's one of him
I think
like
he'd
that.
reply with a guy asleep, like a gif of a guy sleeping, just like Dom,
it's a bad gif. He might just go totally off the board and go like
like Stanley sleeping at work.
like a puppy standing on its hind legs. I think he'd go off the board.
Synonym means the same, right?
Synonyms would be the
Cinnamon,
same, yeah.
The synonyms for desperate don't seem correct. Bold.
That's not a
Are you
synonym.
sure you're not in
Determined?
the antonyms section?
Are you in the antonym
the
section of the
antonyms
synonyms?
say cowardly, fearful, weak.
That feels closer.
Are we wrong?
Synonym sane. Isn't that the rule they teach?
I've got desperate synonyms like hopeless, distressed,
Hopeless feels like a good
suicidal,
one.
But
disheartened.
so this website's just botched. I click synonyms and it's got all these. I click antonyms, got all these. It's flipped. This website is fucking.
they flip synonyms and
Thesaurus.com is botched. Comment that below.
I'm trying to find a for desperate.
A B word? Are you
sound-
looking for? Yeah.
Yeah, I need
Yeah,
alliteration.
I thought you might be.
You can't have,
Oh, they're using desperate as in reckless.
an outrageous. Well, okay, I found it.
Different way to
If
apply.
you scroll down, I've never used desperate in that way, but then there's adjective as in hopeless, and then you got forlorn, futile,
Yeah,
sad.
we mean Boras is hopeless.
So you go sad Scott,
Forlorn.
forlorn Boris.
That's a good word.
I don't know.
I don't know.
A downtrodden.
What else you got?
Donnie Barrels and Snell to the Yanks. Heard it here first.
Former Yankee.
No,
50% on. What's your?
Solano.
Let's end it with your final percentage on Snell.
honest.
You tell me, Bob. I don't know.
Right now, I'm not at 0,
Okay.
but I'm probably at less than 5.
I think my thing to be jazzy on.
I'm at 2.7%.
Here's
That
what
can change.
Could change after what Jake says right now.
will get me. Because I think at my peak, I think I was 51%
7? Oh.
Snell,
Okay.
and then 49% the field. Got to have a lean. Right now, I would jump to 100%.
When you don't use your hands, you look sad.
I feel tied up.
You look forlorn.
Yeah.
I feel for Lawrence. Know
Good
a lot
band.
of Lawrence, a lot of Katie's.
I know, Katie.
If we start getting some tweets about Snell and Boras are open to another contract format, I'm 100% Yankees.
Okay.
Because that's the first update has been like, whoa, Snell's open to this kind of cool belly opt-out contract.
Snell-
That doesn't help the Yankees. So if the next one is Boras and Snell being like, we're open to this contract idea, then it's Yankees.
Do you think
that means he wants to sign with the
you think
Yankees?
the Giants and the
Yankees
Angels should
that bad.
save face and just pull their offers?
No. Angels haven't cared about saving face in years. Giants are basically, I think, all around. Know how teams do stuff around the locker room?
Yeah.
Like we saw the Nationals said, what was your ball four quote that the Nationals
I
said?
don't care how fast you throw a ball.
I don't care how fast you throw a ball for. And, they're trying to make that their team. I think around the Giants front office, it's like, do not become the Angels. Like, I think that's in every room. Do not become the Angels.
Well, then they should rescind their offer.
Hey, and every
They might have.
every Angels
honestly.
fan tuning in. Thanks for listening
Thanks,
to
Nate.
Talkin' Yanks.
I don't know why he won't sign.
All right, quick game to finish. Make sure you guys check out the YouTube. It's been a big YouTube.
This is a good YouTube app. Subscribe.
That's you. Go Yanks. Tom Grams.
Go Yankees.
Sunday, 11:30.
Said March 1st.
Isn't that's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow night, 11:30.
We gotta keep our night up. We have to get really high.
Well.
Do we have to get high tonight?
Nah, it's not happening
We'll go on a
tonight.
date.
They got a
Not
night game.
tonight.
They got a night game.